Ready? I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. And are you in for a treat today? Now, I'm sure you out there have watched shows like MasterChef Junior. You have watched Chopped Junior. Well, today I have some junior chefs on my show that are going to cook for me. But before we get started, let's start down here at the very end with Mommy and introduce ourselves to you all.
Hi, my name is Stephanie.
Stephanie?
Yep. I've got three sweet girls.
And this is
Evie.
Clara. Abby.
That's right.
Abby. So, Stephanie, how soon did you start teaching your kids how to cook?
I probably started about 18 months old.
18 months old.
Which sounds really young.
Uh-huh.
But really, when they could, we just put them up to the counter. They could play in the sink with water and soap, just washing dishes, or just play with the food with a little knife, a plastic knife, and a cutting board, just because they're watching what Mama's doing, and they're just mimicking.
So I imagine when you first started cooking with them, you taught them an easy dish, huh?
Yes.
So today we're going to fix something really easy that you at home can make too. So what are we going to make today?
A granola bar.
That's
A granola bar. What ingredients belong in a granola bar?
All these.
All of these? What are some of the things that we have?
Peanut butter.
And?
Chocolate chips and honey.
Ooh.
And what is that? Raisins?
Yep. We have cherries, dried cherries, but you can use raisins. That's true. What are those things over there? It's oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal. So, Mommy, I see that we already have everything measured out. Whenever you taught your kids how to cook, did you know that you were teaching them some math skills too?
It does help, and I do talk through it. I have to admit, as they're still so young, if you have a big container of oatmeal and a small measuring cup, Mama usually measures most of the stuff.
That's
But we
smart.
talk about it, and they see the addition of things getting bigger and bigger. So in a way, we do work through math, and I think that'll only increase as they get older.
So I think we have talked enough here. Let's get started making our granola bars. So what's the first thing we need to do?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Good
And how much
idea.
do we need to use?
A half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon?
Well, no, that looks about 2 cups.
2 cups.
And Evie, why don't you put it in?
You got it?
Abby could put in the chocolate chips, and I'll put in the peanut butter. It will be the hardest.
Good idea.
Oh, that'll be the hardest? So we pour all of that. And how much oatmeal do we use? Or oats?
A half a quarter, 2 cups.
2 cups. That's a lot. So what's our next ingredients, ladies?
Peanut butter.
Why don't you put
Peanut
that in?
butter. So does it matter if it's crunchy peanut butter? Does it have to be smooth peanut butter?
You know, the joy of this recipe is you could really substitute with anything you want.
Anything you like.
I typically use creamy peanut butter. Some people use the crunchy. You go. You do it. And I've also used sun butter. Because some schools do not. Sun butter is like a peanut butter substitute made from sunflower seeds. And what the benefit of using that is a lot of schools are nut free because of allergies. The only caveat, if you do use sun butter, you should add a little bit of coconut oil. Otherwise, these bars could get a little crumbly.
Oh, I see. I did not know that. So, Claire, you're doing a great job of spooning that in there.
Woo! In the meantime, Abby, we could put all the ingredients in at once. Now we have chocolate chips, and that's a half a cup. But we sometimes get a little extra generous with the chocolate chips because that's one of the main ingredients that we love. And
Because it
Evie?
makes it so good.
Oh, yeah. And this is flaxseed. It's ground flaxseed. And I buy it pre-ground because I'm not... Most of the stuff I just buy pre.
Could I put the
Everything.
flaxseed in?
I'll tell you what, you be in charge of... These are berries and cherries. They're dried berries and cherries.
Can I do this?
Yes. And really the recipe calls for cran raisins. But that's what I love about this recipe.
You can kind of make it your
Yeah,
own.
we make it our own. So we put chocolate chips in, and I usually use milk chocolate, so it's not too sharp tasting like the semi-sweet. But during the holidays, like you could put in white chocolate chips, or hey, no eating that, put it in. or if they have colored ones for Halloween.
Uh-huh.
You could even put like chopped nuts in it as well. But like I said, I try and keep those out just because a lot of the times I make it with sun butter because the twins school is nut free. So I just want to make sure it meets all the guidelines.
So while you're at home, Stephanie, I take it cooking becomes a family affair. Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets to put something in. Huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that makes it fun. What are some other things that you teach your children as you are cooking your meal?
We mainly talk about the cooking techniques, the mixing. We talk about the ingredients. You could really kind of go into anything. It's good to talk to the kids like adults. Like we could talk about oats and where they came from. You can put those in, sweetie. We talk about chocolate and where it came from, or maybe what other things you could make with chocolate. Or sometimes we even just talk about the day. But I think it's just we're all in the kitchen together in a few minutes, and it just keeps us all in conversation. It's just fun.
So, Evie, what do you like about cooking or making this your granola bars? What part do you like? You could put that in there, I think, the flaxseed. So you're a helper, I take it, Evie, whenever you're in the kitchen cooking.
Who likes eating granola bars? Are you a good helper, Evie, to Mama?
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, while we're stirring this up, we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk some more about cooking at home. Okay?
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with our junior chefs. They're making granola bars, which is quick and easy, and they have been doing a fantastic job. While we were on a commercial break, we finished stirring this because the peanut butter is kind of hard to stir, isn't it?
Kind of sticky,
It's
right,
kind of
Clara?
sticky, isn't it?
Yeah, it was,
But
it was on my finger.
It was on your fingers, too? So, Mommy, while you are cooking in the kitchen with your girls, what are some things that you tell them about safety while in the kitchen?
Well, we talk about different safety rules.
No putting your fingers in the oven.
Right, that's a good one. What would happen if you did that?
Burn.
Hot. That's right, you can get a burn. What about knives? We talk about knives. Yes, you can get cuts. So we're very careful with sharp knives. And
Mommy lets me do the big one.
because you've been practicing for a
Wow.
long time. And so we graduate to different knives, and we talk about how to use them, and Mommy watches them very closely when they go up to a new knife. And then we also talk about safety with even them standing there. Just pulling up a chair to the counter can be a little bit dangerous
No.
because they could teeter off.
No holding knife in the air while you're not using it.
Right, knife
Ah.
safety. Yep.
You could cut somebody by accident.
So,
Or you could hurt yourself by accident, too.
Yeah, like bump into it.
Uh-huh.
yes.
Well, looks like we
Cut
have
your
stirred this
head.
enough. Let's put it in our
cut
pan
your
and make our granola bars. Are you ready?
Yes. All right. Let's start putting them down. Can you help me? This is nice and sticky.
I want to use that.
Yeah. You're going to be our leader chef. And you're going to show us. So now that we have it all out, we just have to press it down. So you got to spread it out and press it down. Can you show us?
So, how do you do that? Oh, you just flatten it. Like that.
And then you could
I want to do it.
push it.
Huh.
Just like that. And this, a lot of homemade granola bar recipes you would put in the oven. Although this one is so nice and simple, you really just put it in the refrigerator. It'll firm up, and the oats will soften slightly, but it'll be stiff enough that you can cut it into bars, and then just put it in their lunches.
So it only took you about what, maybe 5 to 10 minutes to make this dish?
Yes, and you know all the ingredients that's in it. They had fun making it, which actually makes them a lot more enthusiastic about eating it, which is nice. Good
Wow,
job.
Congratulations, ladies. You did a fabulous job. So you know what? Stephanie, since we have enough time left, let's prepare a hot dish. Are you ready?
I think we could do that.
We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, that's what we're going to do, okay?
Yay.
I want to see the world.
When you pick up a book
I used to read every night to all the younger kids.
and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be.
Let down your house!
Experience a world of adventure, excitement, and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read. Visit read.gov today.
Come back. We're back from our short break, and we are back to prepare a hot dish this time. We prepared a snack with granola bars, and now we're going to fix something that takes a little more work to do. And as you see, we have set it up for you. Now, Stephanie, before we went on break, you had mentioned before that we introduced your kids to knives. What exactly did you do?
So what we did, like when they're 18 months old, they get their own little chopping boards, which are just like the little hand ones. And then we just use like a little plastic knife. This one's from IKEA, but you could really get it anywhere, and it'll work. And really, I'll just give them soft things to cut at the beginning, or they just kind of pretend and watch Mama, and that's enough. And so then we graduate from this once they start to have a little bit more dexterity with your hands, because it's great for fine motor skills, especially with the little ones. I just use a butter knife, but this butter knife has a tiny bit of serrating. If you put your finger on it, you can feel a little bit of like serrating at the end, which just helps. And at that point, I teach them to go back and forth.
Like
to
they're
soft
doing
things,
now.
which is what they're doing now. And so from there, you could go on and you could use either what Clara's using. Can you show the camera what you're using? This is a steak knife, but it's pretty dull. If I go like this, it's not going to cut, and it's going to take a lot of force if it actually, were to hurt her. Or what the twins are using. Can you hold this up, Abby? This is just a little child's knife. It's got some serrating at the end, but if she were to cut on her hand, it really wouldn't hurt her. So you could even buy those in adult form and just use them with the kids. They're called lettuce knives. They're just plastic and serrated.
So what are the rules for using knives in your home?
So with these knives, they're perfectly safe because I've been watching them. I always, every time they graduate to a new knife, I just pay a lot of attention, give them maybe a couple weeks of just kind of watching closely. And then from there, they kind of graduated. They're good to do it on their own. They usually don't use knives unless Mommy's watching. And we're cooking as a dish together as a family. So they don't get them out of the drawer.
So what are some of the important things you tell them while they're using the knives?
They watch their fingers, right? And we use the sawing motion. Clara, because she just turned 5, she's about 5.5. We just upgraded. She's not using it today because she just moved up to this knife, which we taught her the rocking motion, which she just locks it down and then just says chop, chop, chop. And so really, both of her fingers are safe because she's just going like this. And so, so we work on that. But today, because I can't be hovering over her, she's not using it, but she is pretty proficient at it.
Oh, that's good. And so what are we going to prepare today?
So this is going to be like a pesto chicken recipe. I use chicken breasts, but the original recipe calls for chicken thighs. And it's going to have asparagus and some tomatoes, some sun-dried tomatoes, and pesto.
All right, Mommy. So what's the first step in making this dish?
So the first step is chicken. So I'm going to get it started because they're all chopping away. Are you okay?
Pop, you burned on me.
I'm so sorry. We're usually not this close. Sorry for the splash.
Splash.
So you take care of the hot food when you're cooking in the kitchen at home? You do the stirring and all that stuff on the stove?
I got this started today, but usually, actually, all three are proficient to saute. And the way I start that is also hovering, but they've learned that they really just hold on. The only part of the pot they can touch is the handle. And I also make sure that any spoons I use, they're not metallic. I mean, obviously I have non-stick, so you don't want to use metallic anyway, but they're not going to get hot if they're touching the pan, and they're also nice and long. So they'll just saute from a distance. Because when we make, say, scrambled eggs in the morning, they'll be able to just, turn it themselves.
Well, Stephanie, while this is cooking, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we start adding in the other ingredients, okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book can be the first element, helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
It would be safe to keep your distance until
No secret that will make you smile.
reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. We are still cooking, and our chicken looks like it's almost ready for us to put in the other ingredients. And our little cooks here have been slicing away, and they're doing a fabulous job at what they've been doing. So, Stephanie, what's the next thing we have to do once our chicken is almost ready?
So I did put a little bit of salt on in the commercial break. You could saute a little bit. Here you go.
Saute? What does saute mean?
Just means push it around. I'm just going to put some sun-dried tomatoes in here. Just to start with the flavoring. We're going to just kind of push that around a little bit. Do you want to be in charge of this, Clara? Yeah.
So, Claire, when you're in the kitchen cooking with Mommy, what do you like to do best of all? What's your favorite thing to do?
Help Mama chop the asparagus or whatever she needs to chop.
Have you ever prepared a meal by yourself?
No.
You haven't?
I always need a helping hand.
Ah, but I bet you could if you really wanted to, huh?
Yeah.
So when you're cooking in the kitchen with your mommy, do you help stir? Oh, you do know how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't think you were going to be able to do that, but you are really surprising me today with all the things you know how to do.
You know what? I think it's time to put the asparagus in. Can you create a space for me?
Okay.
And I'll just pour it in.
This dish is going to have a lot of colors in it. It's going to have the green and the chicken
Now you could
and the tomatoes.
Just mix the asparagus around. Kind of leave it in its own space so it starts to cook. I'm going to put a little salt on it. And I do have them sometimes put some salt on themselves. Kosher salt, which is the larger grain, is a little bit more forgiving than table salt. So if you're having a child spice it, it's harder to over salt with kosher salt, I find.
So, Claire, when you're in the kitchen cooking and helping Mommy, do you help your sisters with the things that they've been given to do?
Yeah.
When they have given things to cut up, do you help them?
Yeah, sometimes if they need help cutting like a hard blueberries, like a hard blueberry, I can help them and do that one hard blueberry for them, and they can move on to the easy ones.
Let's put some pesto in too.
So while you're at school, Claire, do you ever cook at school in your class?
No, the cafeteria cooks.
Oh, they do? Would you like to do that at school?
No.
No? I think you could fix your classmates a good little dish. If you could, what would you fix them?
I would fix lasagna and some pizza.
Lasagna.
I love pizza and lasagna. That's a good choice.
Lasagna is a hard dish. You really think you could do that by yourself?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Well, there's like 8 cookers in the cafeteria.
Oh, really?
Don't.
What are some of the things that you've learned from helping Mommy cook?
I learned how to
did order tomatoes.
stir really good.
Uh-huh.
And know how to cut the right way. Not hold it in the air.
Right.
While I'm not using it.
Uh-huh. Do you think one day you'd like to be a cook somewhere?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a cook for your family when you grow up?
No, my mama's a good cook.
But you're going to be a good cook too. I hope you're going to be a better cook than Mama. And you'll be able to cook for me.
So, Stephanie, what's our next step in this dish?
So I went ahead and put some pesto in. So really the sun-dried tomatoes and the pesto are going to really provide a huge flavor. We're going to put that in once everything's cooked.
See, you put the tomatoes in last.
Right. So the tomatoes, everything's going to be warm, and then the tomatoes will provide like a cool to the dish. So it'll be a nice mix.
So, Stephanie, have you found that your kids are more open to different foods since they are in the kitchen cooking with you?
Yes. Hold this with one hand. Yes. Yes, definitely. I feel like if I just present them with a new food, they're maybe 50-50 shot of them trying something new, depends on their mood. But if they cook with it and they actually help prepare it, then they're very likely to do it.
It's my turn.
Let her have a turn and then it's your turn, okay?
What's a dish that you've prepared that you're surprised that they've liked at home?
That's a good question.
Like, do you prepare Greek food, Indian food?
We do. They do love Indian food.
Ah.
And we don't prepare that too much at home, but we do prepare lots of Greek food, and they'll do that, or Asian food, Italian food like they've mentioned. We're German, so we make a lot of German food just by heritage, and so they do eat a lot of cabbage, which is nice, and sausage. Good job, Evie. It's going to be Claire's turn in 1 minute, okay? But they definitely try lots of different nationalities of food, and I think that's just fun. It's fun to cook like that too.
Have you found that they're more open to trying new things since they prepare it in the kitchen with you?
Absolutely.
So, Claire, what's your favorite food besides lasagna and pizza?
Chocolate covered zucchini.
That sounds interesting. I'd love that.
It would be good too.
Oh yeah, chocolate covered anything's pretty good. What about you, Evie? What's your favorite thing?
Touching this with Mama.
And how about baking? Do you guys like to bake too?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we love baking. What's your favorite thing to bake? Cookies or cupcakes or cakes, pies.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie, that's
pie
good.
For Thanksgiving, huh?
Yes. Okay, it's Clara's turn again. Go ahead, Clara.
We can take turns.
Yes, we sure will.
You two are both are great helpers.
It's almost done. I'm going to slowly turn this burner off. So it's going to continue to cook. And then it'll just slowly cool down. And then we'll put these on top. Now, if we're making this at home, we'd probably make a starch with it too. Like either egg noodles or rice or pretty much anything your kids will like. So I'll just make that on the side and let them do that.
You know, Stephanie, we've been standing up here talking about you and your girls cooking. Does Dad ever get into the kitchen and cook with you all?
Dad is a master griller. He is awesome on the grill. He will. He'll cook a mean breakfast and when put to the test, he couldn't cook really well at the stove. But the girls pretty much crowd the kitchen, so he doesn't get many opportunities. So
this is looking really good. Is it time to put the tomatoes in yet?
Are we making granola bars?
We already made those. Okay, you guys want to mix in the...
What are we making now?
How about you both put in one of those?
What are we making Mommy!
Mommy, remember, you said we sang it.
Yes. Can you put the green plate in? Okay, hold on. Wait till your sissy puts it in. Excellent.
Look at you.
Now Claire's going to slowly mix it in, and then it'll be Evie's turn again.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So, man, do you realize what all you're teaching them? You're teaching them math skills, cooking skills, science, the different foods, nutrition, everything. You're doing a fabulous job as a mom.
And I think, number one, like my mom taught me all about cooking, and my whole family. My sister's a chef. My brothers love experimenting and making very complicated recipes. I think she just passed on the love of food. And also, who do you cook for is like your family, who you love, or friends who you just want to either love or get to know better. And so it's just about community and friendship and just cooking for the people that you really care about. Good.
Okay.
Wash
Well,
your
it looks
hands.
like this is almost done. We're going to take a
yeah.
break and get ready to plate this, okay? Welcome back to Better You. As you see, we have completed our dish and plated it for you. And as Stephanie was telling us earlier, she would have a starch with it, like maybe a rice or egg noodle. Ladies, young ladies, what's your favorite? Do you like rice or the egg noodles?
What's your favorite
Carrie Ann,
noodles?
which one do you like?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. So you would have mac and cheese with this?
Well, we probably do maybe, how about noodles with butter?
Noodles with
Yeah,
Noodles
that's
with
big
butter?
in our house. Some egg noodles with butter.
maybe this tomato.
So, Stephanie, I just want to ask you one last question before we say goodbye. Well, Carrie Ann, let me ask you.
What's your favorite?
What's your favorite?
Maybe some carrots and plain strawberries on the side.
That would be great. Add another
that would be
vegetable
good.
and a fruit. Excellent.
Yeah, for a colorful dinner. All those colors. That does sound good. So what lasting words would you give to moms out there watching the show with teaching their kids how to cook in the kitchen?
I think just be open. Sometimes you think things are too complicated, but they're not. I think like with this dish, we picked an easy dish that can be done on the stove. But so many times when you're putting together a casserole, you could just put the kids in charge of chopping. And then slowly like mixing. Every step just could be simplified, and just they learn just by watching you. So even if it's complicated, really can be simplified, and even have them do the simple parts. It just makes it fun as a family, and at least my goal is like when they get older, I'll be able to sit back and watch them cook for me. So I think that'll be fun.
You know what? This was really fun, and I learned a few things myself from you guys. You have to come back, and we have to make another dish, okay?
Okay.
You want to do that again?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. Cooking is fun, isn't it? And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my show, A Better You, here on Public Access 21 every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Wow, this does look good, you guys.